Hello my small fat adaptive family and welcome back to Is It Worth It? The series where I get gadgets and foods and other things I can find that are keto friendly that might help you on your keto journey, and I review them as someone who has been in ketosis for over 4 years. Today we are looking at Jordan's Skinny Syrups Whipped Foam. So what is it? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a whipped foam. What are the ingredients in it? The ingredients are as follows: water, natural and artificial flavour, Quilligia saponaria molina extract, which is also known as soap bark extract, whey protein isolate, sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate to preserve, sucralose, sodium acid sulfate, and asulfamate potassium, also known as asulfamate K. The flavours that I'm aware of, there's the 3 that I've tried: marshmallow, doesn't taste like marshmallow, French vanilla, it's a very subtle vanilla, and Christmas cookies, which just tastes more like a very, very sweet and subtle vanilla. The other flavours are caramel, cream, Irish coffee, mocha, pumpkin caramel, pumpkin spice, salted caramel, maple bourbon, and chocolate peppermint. What are these whipping foams for? Well, they're for adding a barista-like foam to your standard coffee, tea, whatever drink. So let's jump straight into it with the pros and the cons. Pros: they make a bitter black coffee. Now I'm very specific about that. A coffee without milk, without cream, without sweetener. A bitter black coffee. They make it taste like it was made in a coffee shop. You are going to get your best results from the whipped foam if you are having a black coffee. You're creating like a milky foam without the sugary milk. The foam actually lasts, it doesn't just disintegrate the moment it hits your hot coffee. They're 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 nutritional round. They are kosher for any Jewish ketoers out there. You can make it as frothy as you want by just adding more pumps of foam. It's far less hassle than a frother. As I said, it's quite literally just a few pumps of the top and you've got yourself some foam. They don't have to be used just in coffee. You could use them in teas if you're adventurous. I actually use mine in hot almond milk to give it that milk froth. They're relatively versatile in terms of drinks. And there's a range of different flavours, it's not just vanilla and caramel. So the pros and the cons, the ones that you can see as either or depending on who you are as a person. It's like incredibly sweet. And of course this depends on your taste buds and how deep into ketosis you are. I find it like insanely sweet, others may not. Either way, I wouldn't consider this a massive pro or a massive con either way, because you can add sweetener to your coffee. There's a slight bitter aftertaste. This might not affect some people if they like that bitter taste. People like me don't like bitter coffee, don't like bitter tastes, so it's a con for us. It uses sucralose, which has a glycemic index between 0 and 80, meaning depending on who you are and what your blood sugars are like and what you react to, you may have a blood sugar spike because of using this, but others like me, it won't have any effect on their blood sugar at all. It also uses asulfamate potassium or asulfamate K, which is another one of these sweeteners that has a varying glycemic index depending on the person. Cons: some people say that they have no flavour, though I've noticed a lot of the people that say this are people that are using these because they have no sins or whatever they call them on, is it Slim Fast or whichever diet has sins, which means these people are used to sugar anyway because they're eating carbohydrates, so I could understand it not having a flavour for them. But I do understand where they're coming from because they aren't exactly the flavours they say they are. I would say they taste more like sweetness than an actual flavour. You're kind of locked into having them in drinks only. I have tried having them on desserts, even if it's, you know, let's say I'm having strawberries with cream and I'll put some of it in. The problem is it's rather liquidy. It's not milk froth, it's not creamy, it's liquidy. So it kind of just overly liquefies your dessert and then adds too much sweetness to it for me. It's not foam as you'd expect it. When I compare it to milk foam, you expect it to be creamy and really, really frothy. And if I'm honest, it looks and feels more like saliva. Price, as usual, is I would probably put it under a con this time. You can find it sometimes in HomeSense for about £5. Alternatively, you can get it on Amazon for £10, and £10 for that just seems really extortionate. And obviously, HomeSense don't always have it because they're constantly changing their range. However, if you're in America, you can get it straight from the Skinny website for about $6. So, is it worth it? Don't be a sheep and follow a hyped up product. These foams are decent if you want to change things up a little bit. They are not whipped cream, they are foam, meaning they will not taste the same as creamy milk or frothy milk. They are not massively tasteful to a mouth that is used to the taste of sugar. They are good for a coffee fanatic that's doing keto because you're used to subtle changes in flavour and sweetness. I have had them in bulletproof coffees and they do up the taste a little bit, make it feel a little bit more sort of fancy. Would I buy them religiously? No. Are they a nice gimmick to have every once in a while? I think so. Will I buy them again? Not anytime soon. If I'm going to buy them, it's going to be for events like Christmas, maybe Easter, birthday, whatever. They're not going to become something that is always a part of my keto lifestyle. I would probably rate them a little bit higher than other reviews you might see on Amazon and such that give them 1 star and say they taste like pee. And the reason I would probably give it a little bit of a higher result is because I'm very skeptical buying coffee at coffee shops, because I have to ask for no caffeine, no milk, no sugar, no syrup. I'm such a dietary faff with things like this that I don't buy my coffee at shops, I drink it all at home. So it's good for people like me that don't go out and get coffee, because we get sort of a little bit of a barista sort of taste style to our coffees at home. This is one I suggest you try only if you desperately want to. It's not life-changing to your keto journey whatsoever, especially if you buy coffee outside of the house at shops or you have a milk frother. But please note, just because the whipped foam isn't great doesn't mean you should discredit Jordan Skinny syrups, the actual syrups themselves. I have a library of syrups that we use daily for our drinks and even our desserts, and they are absolutely fantastic. It's just the whipped foam that seems to have complications and doesn't live up to what you expect it to be. That's all from me this time, guys. Leave a like if you found it interesting, insightful or helpful. Subscribe if you are inclined. If you have an idea for an Is It Worth It video, something you'd like to see me review, please comment it down below and I will see what the availability is, whether I can get it, whether I want to review it, and I will do so in the future. Keep calm, keto on. Thanks for watching.